It's the OGs and the place to be. That's where you are at the Fantasy NBA today. Hi, it's Rick Kamla. It's Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. We have the fantasy goodies for you. We'll talk reality a little bit. We're going to talk about our WNBA draft that went down yesterday. There will be ball busting. And we want to tell you about our awesome sponsor, Bet Online. They're the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball's in full swing. We're into the NBA and the NHL playoffs and loving it. Bet Online has more ways to stay in the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played with the largest selection of odds and everything from Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, UFC. Bet Online remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. And in between games, head over to the Bet Online Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and a live casino. Bet Online, the game starts here. Doc, you know the bit. We're running down the top 120 based on 8-cat totals, and we're taking a look at it from a couple of ways here. Does this ranking represent this player? And then going into next year, how are you thinking about the draft? Fade, reach up, drafted value. And so that's the bit. You and me and Bruce started this on Monday. We are now, Doc, at the top 36. So we're going 25 through 36, sort of that third round range. And we start with Austin Reaves, Doc. 8-cat per game rank of 36, 9-cat total rank of 29. So does this ranking represent Reaves? And then next year, how are you treating him draft-wise?
Is Austin Reaves going to be on the Lakers next year? I think that becomes the hot topic because there's a funny bit. I just retweeted it on Twitter, X, whatever. It's a guy that does funny sports videos, and he did a whole video about the Luka Doncic trade, and he's like, "Sorry, Nico, you're just gonna have to take the hit for the NBA," and that the whole thing was rigged. And Nico's like, "Well, surely I'm getting some number one picks back if you're gonna force me to trade Luka," and he's like, "Nope, the Lakers need them all to rebuild." Around Luka, and that's the whole Austin Reaves question. Like, I think we saw in this year's playoffs that Austin Reaves, Luka, and LeBron are not enough. And their most valuable trade commodity is Austin Reaves because he's really good. I mean, Reaves had a great season last year. That's why we're talking about him. Number 25 on this list, 20 points a game, 6 assists, 5 boards, a steal, 3 threes. Like, those are big numbers. So I hope he goes somewhere where he can be the man. Like Charlotte would be fun, and just let him go crazy in Charlotte, or one of those bad teams that did not get a good draft pick in the lottery. But I love Austin Reaves. I'll draft him in the third round all day. I don't really care what team he plays for.
I feel like this is a little bit like Austin Reaves at 25. I don't know. I'm not at peace with saying this represents this player. And I am an Austin Reaves guy. But this is really high level. This is 25th. This is at the top of the third round. And you look at some of the guys behind, that we'll get to in this show: Jalen Williams, Damian Lillard, Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell. Okay. And we're going to talk about all these guys. Like, is Reaves above those guys? No. Like, I would never draft Austin Reaves over Donovan Mitchell. I would never do that. Okay. So, like, this is around the neighborhood that he should be in. I feel like he's a little overextended. He's got too much house. He's got too much car. He's got too much debt. I feel at this spot right here. And Andre used to be a banker, so he's probably laughing at all that. But I feel like he's a little too high here. I do. He had a banner year. He was good in the regular season, even when Luka was there, which was very encouraging. The playoffs were different. He kind of stunk, but, after the fact, they said he had an injury, and so was it damage control? Was he actually playing hurt? I don't know. Knowing the Lakers, I tend to rock with the conspiracy theory, and he probably was basically fine, and they slapped that on there to quiet everybody down in LA that was banging on him. And then at the draft, right? Like, Reaves, to me, feels good in the fourth round. Because Doc, think about this, man. He's not a forward early in the draft, right? Like a goody forward, which is where I'm really trying to rock here, rounds 2, 3. And he's not a 10 assist per game guy. He's not a 10 rebound guy. He's kind of like a 25 and 5 guy. He's like, with really good threes, with good steals. So it's kind of like a Derrick White thing, who we'll talk about next, right? Like, I like him. I don't love him because what stat is he special at? And so at this point, I'm still trying to take guys that are special and really, really game-changing at a stat, and then they create other love in the box score. So that's where I'm at with Austin Reaves, brother. You ready to move on to Derrick White?
I think that's a good, quick mini discussion. You really like taking forwards, right? Early. I don't really care what position they play. I want the best fantasy player I can get, regardless of what position he plays in the third round. But I think the key is Austin Reaves and Jayson Tatum, RIP next season with his injury. It sucks. And I feel bad because I know we ripped on him in Tuesday's show, like right before he got or Monday's show.
You guys did.
I blasted him.
I defended him. I stood up for him because
the day before he got hurt, and it was me. It was me and Brew. But anyway, I feel like Reaves and Tatum, like Rick said, they do a lot of things pretty well, but they don't do anything really well. And I think that rather, for me, I'm not really looking at a forward in round 2 or 3. I'm looking for a guy that does something really well and is a difference maker in a category. And I think you're right. Reaves and Tatum and Reaves both make sense going around later than their ranking usually gives them. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, Tatum is special in the points category. He's a 27 a game, so that's special. But there's a lot of guys, Booker, Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, there's a lot of guys that get deep up into the 20s. And then so it's like, okay, what's the differentiator right there? We will talk about the Tatum injury a little bit later on in the show. So, Doc, let's get to number 26 here. And again, this is based on 8-cat totals. And then we give you a couple of other little food for thought nuggets here for Derrick White. 8-cat per game ranking of 48, 9-cat total ranking of 19. Just for the second year in a row, had a great year for Boston. Doc, does this ranking represent this player? And next year, are you drafting at value? Are you reaching up? Or are you fading Derrick White?
This is 2 years in a row that Derrick White has been a stud, and he's been available in the middle rounds of drafts. I feel like I wonder where he was. I wonder where he went in our 30-team draft. I'm gonna look that up. But I feel like Derrick White is one of those guys that flies under the radar, and he went 58th, I think, 58th in 30 deep. So that's basically 60th, which means 5th round. He returned third round value. So I feel like he's a guy that has always been taken a couple rounds later than he's going to give you value back on. So I think he's an extreme value play. His name is still not big enough that he's going to be overdrafted. Like, I love the fact that you can get Derrick White without having to really reach for him.
I loved everything you said right there. Like, am I drafting Derrick White in the 3rd round over my dead body? It's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I'm looking for forwards. I'm looking for 10 assists. Like 8 assists per game. You're not getting a 10 assists per game guy in the 3rd round. You get the point here. I'm still looking for the 10 boards. I'm looking for the 8 dimes. I'm looking for the special difference making in those categories. Derrick White doesn't. What's Derrick White? 18, 4 and 4, 1 and 1 with, 3 threes or 2.5 threes or whatever. It's a really good stat line. It's funny, like Derrick White and Austin Reaves are very similar fantasy guys. They're really good at a lot of stuff, and they're not great really at anything. They're just solid picks. So I like you said, like if Derrick White's in the 5th round and I've been loading up on bigs and I'm like, yeah, I got to start nailing some guards here. Bam, I'll fire him off in round 5, probably not even round 4. Now, what might change that, Doc, and what could get him into round 4 for me is Jayson Tatum being out. And Derrick White probably will ascend to, I mean, depending on Porzingis, who's so in and out. Derrick White's going to be the number 2 option a lot for Boston, moving forward. So that would probably move him back into a 4th round thing. But even with the Tatum hike, I'm not looking at him as a 3rd round guy. So I don't really think this is representative right here at 26. It feels too high for me, a lot like Reaves. Jarrett Allen is next, Doc, at 27, and that's 8 cat total rank. 8 cat per game, 69th. 9 cat total rank of 14th. And obviously, Doc, games played a big part of Jarrett Allen's value. The guy never misses a game. Does this ranking represent Jarrett Allen? And then next year, are you drafting at value? Are you reaching or are you fading?
I mean, it's too high. It's too high for me to be drafting Jarrett Allen. And at some point, Evan Mobley is going, like, I feel like they're here. Like, Mobley is going to take off at some point, and he's going to leave Jarrett Allen in his wake. I just don't know when it's going to happen. I'm fine with Jarrett Allen, man, but I'm not reaching for Jarrett Allen. I'm taking Jarrett Allen like 5th, 6th round when I'm like, man, I need a center. Oh, Jarrett Allen's there. It's time. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But I'm not reaching to get Jarrett Allen on my team.
When you and others are taking Jarrett Allen, I'll be taking Walker Kessler, Brook Lopez, if available, Myles Turner, Alex Sarr. I'm going to be looking for the 3-block combo, and Jarrett Allen doesn't do that, Doc. I personally think Jarrett Allen's overrated. A lot of his value comes from the fact that he leads the league in field goal percentage. He was 706 this year, led the league, okay? 13 and a half points, okay? Down to 9.7 boards this year, off of 10.5. Year before 9.8, year before 10.8. All right, he's a 10-board guy. Basically 14 and 10 is what you're going to get out of Jarrett Allen. The year before he was 16.5, then 14, then 16. But with Garland, with Mitchell, with Mobley, with all of these other Ty Jerome, Strus, Hunter, all these guys, it's hard for Allen to spike. It just is. And we picked the opportunity. Oh, Mobley's out tonight. This is going to be a Jarrett Allen game. And it is, right? But Mobley's in there. Doesn't hit 3 balls. Doc, the blocks dipped for the first time in Jarrett Allen's career below 1. He was at 0.9 blocks, 0.9 steals. So we're talking about 14-10-2-1-1. 14-10-2-1-1. Think about that. And we're looking at a guy at 27 right here. Hell no. This isn't even close to representing Jarrett Allen's value for me. This is, a lot of counting stats accumulated over playing 82 games. And I appreciate the 82 games. But when you dig into it, he's not that valuable. He's sturdy. He's reliable. But he's not a difference maker. I don't look at, I got Jarrett Allen on my team. I'm so loaded now. If I have Jarrett Allen on my team, I feel like I'm either settling or like the draft is kind of beating me up a little bit, right? And I'm following, and oh man, I got to go get a center, and I got to go get Jarrett Allen, who I don't even really want. So I like him as a dude a lot. I've interviewed him many times. Phenomenal guy, smart, like kind of like charmingly nerdy. I like him a lot, and he's a solid player. And I always like to put that on there because people hear me banging on a guy from fantasy. I want to let you know, like I like him. In reality, I like him as a dude. I don't really rock with him in fantasy ball. All right, Doc, let's move on to your guy here, Jalen Williams at 28. All right, so that's 8 cat total, 28, and how our rankings are based. Okay, so a little bit more food for thought. 8 cat per game ranking, 26, 9 cat total ranking of 30. Does this represent J-Dub, Doc? And then next year, you drafting at value? Are you reaching or are you fading J-Dub?
J-Dub will be on my list again. He went 38th in our 30-team league draft last year. So that's pretty much right on time. A little bit of a value pick, I think, that late. I don't know how that the team that drafted him, I don't think did very well in that league. but that doesn't really matter. Jalen Williams, Rick, you make fun of me because I'm like, he's Scottie Pippen he's SGA's version of Scottie Pippen, and I'm not saying that J-Dub is better than Scottie Pippen, but he might be, and he might actually be one of the best players in the entire NBA. We just don't know it because he plays behind a guy who's going to win the MVP this year. I love J-Dub. I love the fact he stayed healthy. I love the fact that he played center when Chet and Hartenstein were out. I love the fact that he qualified at guard, forward, and center in Yahoo leagues. And I really love everything about his game. I think if we ever get to see him play and be a number one scoring option on his team, we would see a potential league leader in scoring, as well as one of the best fantasy players out there.
That is Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. He's a Hall of Famer. I'm Rick Kamla. We are the Fantasy NBA Today, Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball. Head over to the website, guys, sportsethos.com. We have phenomenal content for you. It's low dough, big bang for the buck. Get a subscription, and then we'll just keep coming at you with waves and waves of fantasy league winning content. Sportsethos.com. Also download the app. Go to your favorite app store. Get that left thumb working a little bit, okay? Download the Sports Ethos app. It's completely free, and we rock. All right, Doc. This is J-Dubs. This is the first guy I'm actually comfortable saying, like, we had Reaves, we had Allen, we had White, like J-Dub. Yes, boom. Okay, here we go. Because we're talking about a 22-5-5 with goodies. And, Doc, I still think there's room for improvement from J-Dub. The first half and the second half weren't aligned. What if we get a first half and a second half from J-Dub, okay, where there's no slippage and no dip? He was a first-round guy most of the year. If you go to Basketball Monster, as Doc and I do, and he was 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I don't know if he ever got to 4 or 3, but I do believe he got up to 5. There was at one point he was staring eye to eye with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in terms of overall stat line, even when you go into deep analytics. So, and then he dipped a little bit, okay, and then slipped back to third-round value. So, might have been like a fourth-round guy in the second half of the year. I don't know. I haven't looked that up. But you get the point here. But he's still a young ascending guy, Doc, and there might have been a little bit of an injury there that he was playing through. OKC was smacking everybody by 100 points, so they really didn't have to max him out either. But I do think this represents his value. Very high on J-Dub. In reality, in dynasty, in redraft. I mean, I just really like the guy. I bust your stones about him, right? The whole Scottie Pippen thing. So I'm a big Pip guy. You can see over my left shoulder, I got Pippen banging on Pat Ewing, that famous dunk from that playoff series with a little Scottie P signature on there. So I'm a Scottie Pippen guy, dude. So that's why I bust your stones about that. Will I reach for J-Dub? Doc, J-Dub to me is an at-value guy, and he's a third-round guy for me. And I would take him at the, so I guess, like, let's say I've got 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? And then I'm deep into round 2, early in round 3. I would take Jalen Williams early in round 3 and be happy about it. So let's move on here, Doc, to Desmond Bane, who is 29th, and this is based on 8-cat total, 8-cat per game rank, 29, so the same. And then 9-cat total rank of 37. So it's all pretty much third-round stuff there for Bane. Does this ranking represent Bane, Doc? And then next year, at value, are you reaching or are you fading?
I don't think you need to take Desmond Bane in the third round. Like he's a fifth round. Oh, Desmond Bane is still there. Give him to me. He was tracking to be really becoming a really good fantasy player 2 years ago, and he got hurt, and he missed the whole second half of that season or whatever it was. Came back and played like 2 or 3 games, and then this year he was pretty quietly healthy and did a good job and was a solid player to have on your team. But I'm not. He doesn't do any one thing well enough, or he doesn't help you enough in big categories that you need to reach for him. He's a good glue guy to take in like the 5th or 6th round.
Look, man, copy and paste. I completely agree. He's another one of these guys, Doc. I mean, look, he's pretty special with the 3 ball, but I don't know if you have a stat line in front of you right now. What was he last year? 3 threes per game, 2.5 threes per game. With the 25 and 5-ish, with some stats up and down on that. He's a little bit like White, a little bit like Reaves. So I'm not psyched about Bane in the 3rd round. I'm with you. I'm not even really sure I'm looking at Bane in round 4, Doc. I'm with you. Round 5. Wow, Bane's still there. I just think you said it best. I completely agree with that assessment. So I'm definitely not reaching, probably not drafting him at value, but I'm not fading him, right? It's not like I don't like Desmond Bane. I like Desmond Bane, solid player. And he's really good at the 3 ball. So dude, how many 3 balls per game?
2.4. Not as good as it has been, because he was 3.3 the previous year when he only played 42 games, and he was 2.9 the year before that, and 3.0 the year before that. So the threes were really down last year. He was shooting almost 3 less per game. I'm not sure why.
I think that's a Morant thing.
Could be. I
think that's a Ja thing. Because, I mean, we banged on Ja for missing all these games, right? But Ja was a relatively in and out yo-yo consistent. I mean, it's Ja Morant, okay? Like, he's not Mikal Bridges around here. What did Ja Morant play, 50 games this year? I mean, he was somewhat available, and I think that created the dip for Desmond Bane. But, Doc, next year, I don't know about you, I'm going to probably calculate 50 to 55 games for Ja Morant, right? And so that's going to probably bring Desmond Bane down and JJJ down a little bit. So, yeah, we agree on Desmond Bane. Not super high on him over here. I'm
not low on him. I don't feel the need to go reach for Desmond Bane. Like, I will know when the time is right to get Bane.
I agree with that, brother. 30th, and this is 8 cat total, okay, for this season, Damian Lillard. 8 cat per game ranking of 7, all right? 9 cat total ranking of 34. I was very high on Damian Lillard coming into the year, Doc. You knew this. Coming off the bad year with Milwaukee by his standards. And it was year 2 with Milwaukee. And you just sort of, and Doc talked about how he wasn't really in shape last year. So you just kind of knew that it was all going to go up. And it did, all right? And then obviously the blood clotting thing, was, a real, I mean, obviously I want to be sensitive about this for Dame, a very major health issue to deal with. It derailed a really, really good season over here in the fantasy space. And we love Dame, and we send him all kinds of love and strength and blessings as he works through this major injury. So, Doc, he ain't going to play this upcoming season. So I don't really know what else to say about Dame, other than Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins. I don't know. Maybe Austin Reaves is traded to Milwaukee, and he's running point. And maybe at that point, Doc, like with Giannis going to LA, I don't dang know if that's going to happen. But if that, I could see Austin Reaves going 23, 6, and 8, right? If he goes to, I'll tell you what right now, Doc, if somehow Austin Reaves goes to Milwaukee, okay, erase everything we said about Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves at that point, I would be looking at him, depending on what's around him. Second round still feels a little high and a little nutty, but third round would feel very, very appropriate for Austin Reaves if he were the number 1 in Milwaukee. But we don't know that yet. But I don't know what else you got on Damian Lillard, dude, but we can move on.
Where are you on Austin Reaves getting traded? 60% chance, 80%, 40%?
No, I'm not, because it's going to take a lot more than Austin Reaves to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so what else does LA have to give? Dalton Connect? Okay. I mean, look at the roster. What is enticing here for Milwaukee? And you're going to have to hit Milwaukee with 5, 6, 7 draft picks. First round draft picks. Right? Think about that. The Clippers gave up 7 first-round picks for Paul George. Horrible trade. How many picks did Brooklyn give up for Kevin Durant? How many picks did Phoenix give up for Kevin Durant? How many picks did Minnesota give up for Gobert? How many picks did Cleveland give up for Mitchell? Like, it's all in like the 4, 5, 6 range. Do the Lakers have that? I don't know. I don't think the chances are 40 or 60. I'd put him at, I don't know, 20, 15%, something like that.
I feel like it's like 55 or 60. I don't think they're getting that.
So you're telling me that you think it's a 50?
I don't think they're getting Giannis, but I think they're going to trade Reaves.
Okay, so you and me completely disagree on that. I think the only way they trade Reaves is to get Giannis.
Well, I think they look at their team and how they looked in the playoffs. They're like, we can't do it with just these 3 guys. We need to move Reaves and get like 2 or 3 good players back. I don't know.
But I just don't think Reaves is going to attract that. What the Lakers got to do, they've got to go get some veteran minimum mercenary guys like a Kelly Oubre. All right, if Kelly Oubre opts out of his contract, go get Oubre. You've got to play Dalton Connect. And so we've turned into Laker Live right now a little bit, but you've got to play Dalton Connect. You drafted him in the first round. Everybody loved him. He's a difference-making shot maker and scorer. He's got to play 20 minutes off that bench. I think it was a major, major mistake by J.J. Redick. When they needed, like you said, Doc, you needed scoring outside of the big 3, and you were getting Vanderbilt and Vincent, and these guys give you nothing. They give you nothing. Well, I shouldn't say nothing, next to nothing. But all right, let's reel it back in here, all Doc. Right. Okay. And let's talk about Jamal Murray, a player that I love Jamal. Dude, I do. He's on my team in Cam Dynasty. Won 2 chips with him. I freaking love how clutch he is. I love the wetter when it's really flowing. It's like he's just an exciting player. I'm a fan. 31, okay, Doc, and that's 8 cat total. 8 cat per game, 24. 9 cat total ranking of 28. So it's all basically third round stuff here. Does this ranking represent this player? And next year, are you drafting at value? Are you reaching or are you fading Jamal Murray?
I don't trust Jamal Murray. I worry about him being healthy. I love playoff Jamal Murray. And Soren, my son, loves Jamal Murray. He's not an SGA guy. He loves Jamal Murray. So we're watching the Denver OKC game. He's like, Jamal Murray, blah, blah, blah. And he gets mad every time Shea does something. I'm like, bro, I've got a lot riding on Oklahoma City. You need to stop rooting against my squad. Anyway. My son always drafts Jamal Murray. I kind of make fun of him for it. My son will take him in round 3 every time, and somebody else will in your league. So if you're worried about Jamal Murray's injury history like I am, you really won't have to worry about it because he's going to go in round 3 anyway, just because of who he is and what his name is. So by the time I'll be ready to draft Jamal Murray, which is like 5th round, he's long gone, so I don't have to worry about it.
I do think that this is representative of his ranking and who he is, because he does this every year. And when you look at Murray's stat line, his rebounds are always a little bit better than you think. He's a pretty good steal guy. The 3-ball game is there. You know, he's giving you the 20, the 21 points. He's giving you the 5, 6 assists. You know, he's got to share with Jokic. I mean, and so the assist numbers never going to be elite because of what Jokic does out there. But Murray, again, he's one of these guys. It's just a solid overall stat line. Am I looking at Jamal Murray in round 3? No, I am not. I'm with Doc on that. So it's maybe a little bit, I'm not trying to be contradictory here. I like just consistency year over year over year. I think this ranking represents him. But then it's about our palates, right? My palate, Doc's palate. And so, yeah, I'm fine. Like Doc said, I'm not banging on somebody for drafting Jamal Murray in round 3. I'm not. I'm just not going to be that guy. I'm looking for different stat sets at that time. I'm looking for, again, the 8, 9, 10 assist guys, the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rebound guys at that super high point of the draft in the 3rd round. Murray falls to the 4th round, feeling a lot better about it.
And he has not played more than 67 games in 5 straight seasons. So he has not hit 70 games since 2018. So, yeah, I think I'm all right. And maybe in a roto league and games played don't matter. I'm more comfortable taking Murray than I am in a head-to-head where I need him out there every night.
All right, number 32, Doc, is Zach LaVine, and that 32 is 8 cat total. His 8 cat per game was 52, 9 cat total ranking of 46. Does this ranking right here of 32, 8 cat total represent this player, Doc, Zach LaVine, and next year you drafting at value? Are you reaching or are you fading him?
Oh, man, I don't know. Sacramento's such a mess, dude. Keon Ellis, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. I don't know, Rick. The fact that DeMar DeRozan has to compete with Zach LaVine for touches and minutes and shots, and not to mention Domantas Sabonis, it's just weird. Plus, Zach LaVine's 30. He's going to be 31 by the end of the year. He's had an extensive injury history. I like Zach LaVine. I do. I like using him in DFS, and if I know he's going to play, I like running him out there. But I just have trust issues with him being able to stay healthy long enough to get it done. And this whole playing with Sabonis and DeRozan is too weird. I need to see a trade before I'm thinking about drafting him at that kind of value. And I don't, in the right situation, he goes to Milwaukee. I like Zach LaVine a lot, but I don't like him in Sacramento.
Again, I agree with most of what you're saying. Third round for Zach LaVine for me is a no for a lot of reasons. It's the stat set. It's the injury risk. It's the ascending age that Doc was talking about. Third round's a no. Like, it's got to be where the draft has just sort of soured on Zach. He falls to like round 6, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting Zach LaVine here. Bam. Third round is, and I guess, is this representative of him? I just don't believe it is. I think he's a top 50 guy. Do I think he's a top 30 guy? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, is anybody going to take Zach LaVine in the third round of their draft? I just don't. I think a few years ago that was a yes, but that was a while ago, man. And now he's older. He plays for that weird team. We just don't know what's going to happen with him. He went 58th in 30 deep last year. And that's where he's going to go this year. I mean, he's a 5th or 6th round guy.
58th to me.
57. Yeah, 57 to you.
And that's appropriate.
Yeah.
That's appropriate. Like, he was my...
Right, take him again at 57 this year. Maybe not.
I don't know about that. Because going into last year, you remember I had a big Zach LaVine opinion. It was the spite year. It was the screw you Billy Donovan year. All right, that's all Chicago stuff. Now he's in SAC, and he's just a player on SAC. So there's not like that edge, that motivation, that chip. It's just another Zach LaVine year. And Malik Monk is going to be back. You've got Sabonis. You've got Keegan Murray. You've got DeMar DeRozan. A lot of mouths to feed, man. And so I will be fading Zach LaVine. It's got to be a situation where I'm like, wow, Zach LaVine is still there. Pounce. But so I would call it a fade. I would call it a fade for Zach. And I'm with Doc. I'm a fan. But go ahead.
If you thought he was going to pop last year and you took him at 57th, and we don't think he's going to pop this coming year, then he's going to go lower than that. So he's might even be a 6th round guy at this point.
I agree with that. I think his name might cause him to be drafted a little bit higher. But again, there's so much going on there in SAC. So Brook Lopez, wow, is next. And these rankings here, the overall setup of our top 120, and we're doing our top 36 here in this episode, is 8 cat total. All right, so Brook Lopez, 33 in that category. 8 cat per game, it dips way down to 75. 9 cat total ranking of 18. So do these rankings, does this ranking of 33 represent Brook Lopez? And next year, are you drafting at value, or are you reaching, or are you fading, Doc?
Dude, I think you took him in 30 deep last year with the 87th pick of the draft. And
let's
Brolo, you and I always talk about Brolo. You guys go draft your big dollar centers early, and I'll pick up a Brolo, in the 8th or 9th, 10th round. And Brolo seems to always get it done. The fact he blocks shots and hits threes, I feel like he is an underrated fantasy asset. And he was a little more up and down this year than I'd like to see, right? Like Brolo would be hot for 10 days. And then he'd just disappear, and we're like, do I need to drop Brook Lopez? He hasn't done anything for 3 games, and then boom, he blows up again. So it was a weird ride with him, but I feel like this does not represent it might represent his value because he does hit threes and he does block shots, but nobody's taken Brook Lopez in the freaking 3rd round. No one. And you can get him in the 8th round. So Brook Lopez next year and for the last 5 years is always like an extreme value pick, underrated, undervalued, and usually a really good pick when you take him later in your draft.
Brook Lopez to the Lakers. Just saying, I don't know if it can happen, but Brook Lopez is a free agent, Doc. Like a free agent, not a restricted free agent. He can fly. And we saw in the playoffs, Doc Rivers turned on Brook Lopez. Doc Rivers, dude, it was disrespectful. Look at the minutes in on the game log for Brook Lopez in the playoffs. In that series against, who knocked them out? Who the hell played Milwaukee and beat their ass? Why can't I remember that right now? Oh, Indiana.
Pacers.
Indiana. Yeah, look at the minutes for Brook Lopez. Doc Rivers turned on him. I don't believe that Brook Lopez will be a buck this year. Do you have those numbers up?
Yeah. 8 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, and 21 minutes in game 1. So his minutes went 21, 16, 16, 15, 8.
One of those games, Doc, I had
ridiculous.
The Brook. It's ridiculous. One of those games, I had the point prop over on Lopez at 11.5. He had 8 at halftime and then did not play in the second half.
Game 2.
He had 8 at halftime on an 11.5 prop. Did not play in the second half. I was so pissed at Doc Rivers that night, dude.
And what was Doc Rivers doing? They got blown out by the Pacers. The Doc Rivers to Milwaukee situation has kind of been a disaster, right? And I don't like anything about it. Now Dame's situation is all messed up, and Giannis is on an island, and everybody's talking about the summer of Giannis and KD. It's not looking good. And I've never been a Doc Rivers guy, just as far as a basketball coach. So I don't know, man. That's disrespectful to Brook Lopez.
It just didn't make sense. If you have all these rock star bigs, and it just didn't make sense. So he ain't coming back. Doc, I don't know where Brook Lopez is going to play, but I do believe this. I believe he will sign somewhere as a starting center, and I'm gonna rock with Brook Lopez again because I'm rocking with Brook Lopez until the wheels fall off, Doc. Because great players like Brook Lopez, and I do think that historically over time, he's made all-star teams. He's in his deep 30s now, still a very relevant player. Greats may be strong, but just a rock-solid freaking player for a long, long time. I don't see him, boom, just crashing into a wall like Kyle Lowry has. I just don't. I think he's going to slowly fade into oblivion. And so I'm going to ride that slow fade until... yeah, it's time. Like Clint Capella. I wrote it, and I wrote it, and I wrote it. And then this year, I had to let go and cast him adrift, right? So that's what I'm going to do with Brook Lopez. And it's going to have to be a month of suctitude before I say, yeah, it's time to bail on Brook Lopez. He's an original on my team in Cam Dynasty, and I'm rocking with him until the wheels fall off. But this ranking's not representative of him. Doc said it. You're not going to have to draft Lopez in round 3.
He's 37 years old. He'll be 38 by the end of next season. And that means he's still got a year or two left. And he doesn't have to extend himself that much. He would be a perfect guy to go to the Lakers and play center with LeBron and Luka. Like it would be perfect.
Perfect.
And he needs to get away from Doc Rivers. Like you said, Doc ran him out of juice in the playoffs, or didn't even use him in the playoffs. And Luka was very hit or miss all season long. Like you look at his game log, 3 good games, 2 bad ones. And it's like that all year long. So I think he's still got gas in the tank and another year or two worth of tread left on the tires before they fall off.
Doc, he's going to the Lakers, bro. Check this out.
That way.
The Lakers have
he went to Stanford. It just all makes sense.
He used to play for the Lakers. Once he'd be going back home. He was a Laker at one point. Maybe was that pre-Brooklyn? I think that was pre-Brooklyn. Andre will sniff that out as he always does. But I'm excited about this. The Lakers have access to both their non-taxpayer and taxpayer mid-level exceptions for this season. All right. The non-taxpayer mid-level exception is $14.1 million. Bam. Sweet spot. Because Brook Lopez is at like 20 right now. He ain't going to make 20 on his next contract. If I'm Brook Lopez, I am taking a 1-year, $14 million deal with a gigantic smile on my face to go play with Bron, Luka, and Reaves. Done.
Yeah, he played with the Lakers for 1 season right after Brooklyn and right before Milwaukee.
Right after Brooklyn. Okay. And he'd be going back home. Anyway, but people are going to fade Brook Lopez. I ain't taking Brook Lopez, man. He's too old. He's ancient. He's a dinosaur. He's going to suck this year. And that's always the thought here. I always go against that with a either rock solid longevity guy like Lopez or like a great like LeBron James. Like, y'all want to fade LeBron James? Oh, this is going to be the year that Father Time kicks his ass. You're wrong. Like, he's the only guy that he ain't taking an L against Father Time. He's like the only guy. All right, 34, Doc, based on 8-cat totals, is Donovan Mitchell at 34. 8-cat per game ranking of 41, 9-cat total ranking of 36. All third-round stuff there for Donovan Mitchell. Does this ranking represent this player? And are you drafting him at value? Are you reaching or are you fading?
I'm not going to reach for Donovan, but I feel like this is an appropriate ranking for him. I feel like he is that guy. I feel like he's a third-round player. Props to Donovan Mitchell for playing on Tuesday night through that injury, and he played well. It wasn't good enough to get by the Pacers, but man, I really like Donovan Mitchell. Like I like him. I wouldn't say he's one of my guys, but I really like Donovan Mitchell. And I got no problem drafting Mitchell, at that spot in my draft.
So I don't believe this is representative of Mitchell's value because it's too low. And it, probably because of a shooting percentage thing or something. I don't know, like where are the drags on his value? 24 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.3 steals, 3.3 threes, shot 44% last year, played 71 games. And he did all that in only 31 minutes because Cleveland cranked everybody. So I look at him as a second-round guy. I don't look at Donovan as a third-round guy. Like, he's a guy, Doc, that when you're taking Dyson Daniels in round 2 or 3, I'm going to be taking Donovan Mitchell. I'm with you. I love Donovan Mitchell. He's a badass. He had the 48, and then he had the 43. He had 91 points over a 2-game span in this Indiana series. Came back from the dead. I didn't think he was going to play in game 5 or whatever it was. What do you have, 35 or something like that? I mean, I freaking love Donovan Mitchell. I'm a huge fan. Doc, dude, we're talking about first ballot Hall of Famer here. We are talking about one of the great scorers the league has ever seen, okay? Over his career, Doc, he's gone 20, 24, 24, 26, 26, 28, 26, 24. And he's going to be heading into his age 29 season. He's probably got 6 more seasons like this. Dude, I'm telling you, he's probably going to hit 30,000 points. He's got 70 in a game. Huge fan. I look at him as a second-round guy. And I don't look at that as a reach. I don't. I think when you look at that stat line, that just screams second round to me. If I can get Donovan Mitchell like early in the third round, I feel like I'm winning my draft. We got two more guys here, Doc, in our top 36. Number 35. Wow. OG Anunoby. Again, based on 8 cat total. Now, when you go to 8 cat per game, it drops down to 58. 9 cat total ranking of 24. All right. So you aggregate it all, it's right around third round stuff. Does this ranking represent OG, Doc? And next year, are you drafting at value? Are you reaching or are you fading?
It's oddly enough, I think it does. I mean, I think because he plays for the Knicks and because he plays all those minutes and he had a good year, and he's a Thibodeau guy, and he seems to fit really well in New York. And he got off to a blistering start when he played. But I don't think you have to draft him. You don't have to draft OG Anunoby until much later than the third round. But I think the chances of him returning third round value again next year are really good. But I think I can get him in the fifth round, and I'm excited about that. Like I'm kind of fired up to see where we can get Anunoby next year.
I'm totally not. To me, he's largely a 2 category guy. He's a point guy. He's a 3 guy. Used to be a big time steal guy. And, he's not a rebound guy, not an assist guy. It's just not, it's not my stat set. This year, 18, 5, and 2, 1.5 steals. He's always a good source of steals, 2.3 threes. If that was 18 points with 3.3 threes and 1.5 steals, I'm an OG guy. His career high in threes is 2.4. All right. And so this year, in a career high 18 points per game, he was at 2.3. So yes, he is a 3-point shooter, but it's not super high volume. That's a problem for me. So I'm looking at, I'm loving the steals. I'm liking the threes. I'm not really loving the PRA of 18, 5, and 2. The percentages are good. He's an availability guy. This is a guy that I'm going to let other people draft, and I'm fine with it. So I'm going to just completely fade OG Anunoby. Is this ranking representative? Is he a third round guy? No. Perception wise, eye test, gut test, stat test, none of it passes for me. And it sounds like I hate OG. I like OG Anunoby a lot. He could play for me. In reality, I love the 3 and D guys. Okay, that's who you win with. But in fantasy, nah. Like in the 9th round, wow, OG Anunoby, how did he slip through the cracks? Okay, then, and I'm embellishing here, maybe round 7, round 6, but he's probably not going to fall that far. And Doc said it, he's a Knick. So there's always that extra hype with those New York teams. And so he'll be gone, and I'll be fine with it. And then fine.
He's never played that many games. He played 74 as a rookie. He played 74 this year, and everything else is low. So there's no guarantee he's going to make it through a whole season next year either. But like I said, if OG's sitting there in round 7, which he probably will be, especially if we're not hyping him up and other people aren't hyping him up, I'll gladly take him as a value pick right before I take Brolo.
Well, I'm pissed with all the hype that I created here with Kelsey Plum and Kalia Copper because both of them got snagged away from me in our W draft last night. And then 36 here, Doc, in our top. Yeah, I'm pissed about it. Aaron Brewski took both of them, by the way. Shout out to Brew. He's got a great team. Number 36, Myles Turner. All right, that's 8 cat total. 8 cat per game drops down to 63. 9 cat total ranking of 33. And so does this ranking represent this player, Doc, and next year you drafting at value? Are you reaching or are you fading Myles Turner?
Man, Myles Turner is a weird one because for years all we heard was he needs to get out of Indiana. The Pacers are going to trade him, and it never happened. And he's just sort of been a quiet, hardworking rock star for them. And he played really well. He's played really well so far in the playoffs for them. His stat line from this season was not. Like you don't look at it and you don't look at it and think, man, this guy's amazing. 15.6 points, 6.5 boards, 2 blocks, 0.8 steals, 2 threes. Like there's nothing mind blowing about that. But he's not going to be taken this early in drafts. Like you don't have to take Myles Turner until where we were talking about OG Anunoby and Brook Lopez. Like it's going to be the middle of the draft and you're going to be like, I need a center and I need 3-pointers. Give me Myles Turner. I like the fact he hits threes and blocks shots, and I like the fact he plays a big role for his team. And you just know what you're going to get from Myles Turner. There's no upside there, but the floor is set as well. So just a good, solid mid-round center.
He is a free agent, and I believe Indiana, they should pay him, and he needs to be getting $30 million a year. I'm looking at 4 years, $120 million. If I'm Myles Turner, that's what, and I would even shoot higher than that if I were Myles. I'd probably try to get 4 and 160, which is 40 per year. And then Kevin Pritchard says, have you been drinking today? And then, okay, we whittle it down and maybe it's a 35 a year or 30 a year, but he's got to be a $30 million per year guy. I love Myles Turner, Doc. I love Myles Turner. You know me, like that. This is where I live, bro. The two blocks, the 2 threes. These are my guys. And I know I don't want to steal your bit. You've got the My Guys article and stuff like that, but Myles Turner is one of my guys. I'm not worried about the rebounds. I'm not. He's not a good rebounder. He never has been. He plays in the perimeter, kind of like Jaren Jackson Jr. When you're not in the hole, tough to get rebounds. But the scoring's at 15, the boards are at 6, the blocks are at 2. This was the first time in his career that he went 2 threes and 2 blocks per game in the same season, believe it or not, in his age 28 year. And so I want him to stay in Indiana because they got a really good thing cooking there, right? But also, if he goes somewhere else, maybe his stat thing changes. He's played every year of his career in Indiana, and that is that 10 years? Damn, Myles Turner's been in the league for 10 years. Holy dude, time flies. Dude, time flies. Wow. So anyway, I'm a big Myles Turner guy. Am I drafting him in the 3rd round? No. Doc said it. You don't have to. For whatever reason, people don't like this guy. They just don't. He's always slipping in drafts. So when it gets to like round, I'm kind of he's on my radar in round 4. Will I draft him there? I might not need to. Round 5, round 6, like that's the Myles Turner zone for me. And yes, I'm always looking, depending on roster construction and flow of draft, to take him at one of those spots. But you're not going to have to take him in round 3. Start looking into Myles Turner in round 4, and we'll be good with that. All right, Doc, let's do a little playoff check-in here. We got to start with Knicks and Celtics. Game 5 is tonight in Boston. Knicks have a chance to send them home. The Celtics have a chance to breathe life into their season, force a Game 6 back in New York. Obviously, we got the news on Jayson Tatum and all of these blown Achilles and these huge injuries. Damian Lillard, Jayson Tatum. It takes me back to Kyrie Irving from the regular season, right? Like, damn, dude. Kyrie Irving, Jayson Tatum, Damian Lillard. Boo, 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 boo. Like, come on, dude. These are 3 of the heaviest hitters that we have in the league. And now, I don't think Lillard's playing next year. I don't think Tatum's playing next year. Kyrie might come back in like February or March or something like that, right? Depending on, because his injury happened, I don't know, at this point, probably 2-3 months ago. But damn, dude. And Tatum, like Jayson Tatum, one of the most durable guys. He's always playing 75, 77. And we're not crazy about him in fantasy over here, but damn it, I love him in reality, Doc. This guy's a champion. I think he's the most disrespected superstar in our sport. Should be getting a lot more love, dude. When Jokic won the chip, Doc, he went from doubted, hated, kind of slept on, and is he the best player in the world? I don't know. Bam, win the chip. You get everything. Best player in the world. Everybody loves him. And I mean, he's Jokic, right? We all love him. Why did Jayson Tatum get none of that? He won a chip, and it did not change the greater hoophead perception of him at all. I don't understand that. You win a chip, it completely transforms your perception. But that didn't happen with Tatum. Why not?
He's just cheesy to me. I just feel like he's corny. That's kind of corny, man.
You are crazy. You are so he's corny. Oh my god.
Corny.
Oh, you crack me up, dude.
Dude, he's corny. I don't know. I mean, Jokic is I'm not comparing Jayson Tatum to Nikola Jokic. I'm just not doing it. Not.
Oh, Jokic has one chip. Tatum has one chip. Now Jokic has 3 MVPs, which is pretty dope. Anyway, Jason, we love you. Get well soon. I don't know what else to say, man.
It sucks, man. I feel bad for Celtics and their fans, and we're never going to see that starting 5 together again, probably in Boston. You know, Andre's telling me that he's telling us that Porzingis is getting traded and or sign and trade. What'd you predict, Andre? It's not on my screen anymore. Oh, Myles Turner going to be signed and traded for Porzingis. What do you think about that?
I mean, I love
the rumor. That is Andre's guess. It's certainly not a newsworthy item.
I mean, I like it. It's creative. What can I say?
Do
I think it's going to happen? I don't. If I'm Indiana, I don't want Kristaps Porzingis. I'm not helping Boston. No. Dude, pay Myles Turner, damn it. 10 years? 10 years an Indiana Pacer, Doc. Like, you should be thinking now about you should be retiring as a Pacer. Like, be a lifer. Like, it should be a love fest right now. They're in the East Finals back-to-back years. The fucking Pacers, bro. The Pacers
better be ready to step up with Porzingis or with Jason out, man. He better be ready to step up.
All right. Okay, so where are we at here? We'll get to the ATS picks where we can talk a little bit more about this. But shout out to Jayson Tatum. Obviously, he's off the board in redraft. Shout out to Darren Wolfson, aka Doogie, who's in the Cam Dynasty. He texted me yesterday, Doc, and he said, I need some advice on how to tank. All right. Doogie has had 2 years ago, I beat him in the championship by the hair on my chin. It came down to Sunday. Okay. Hugely, hotly contested game. Last year, he was second in the regular season, lost in the semis, and just a kick-ass team. He has Lillard and Tatum. All right. And so he texted me, he's like, dude, I got to tank. And I told him, like, the rules of tanking in the Cam Dynasty, like, I condone tanking, but you got to do it the right way. You can't just empty. You got to put warm bodies in there, okay? You got to at least put up some kind of a fight. But if you want to pick up scrubs off the waiver wire and put them in your starting lineup and lose every week, 1-7, yes, do it. Tank. Go get the guy you want. That's just, I think tanking is a legitimate way to get your team better. And if you lost Lillard and Tatum, I just think it's smart. I think it's good thinking by him. And I'm happy because he's a primetime contender and it looks like he's going to be bottoming out. But we just welcomed Andre into the league. Okay. So we got another primetime contender. So, it all kind of washes out there. Wolves and Warriors, Doc, give me a little helicopter view on this one, and then we'll slide into some betting analysis for the people.
I just want to say shout out to the Knicks. We didn't even talk about the Knicks, man. They're up 3-1 against the mighty, mighty Celtics. Let's go. Go Knicks, man. I'm so fired up. I just want them to finish this thing off. As far as the Warriors and Timberwolves go, man, I really thought the Warriors were going to at least put up a fight, but they're dead dogs, man. It's done. Is Minnesota better than I think they are? Maybe. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what Minnesota looks like if, once they win this series in advance, because the Warriors, especially after they lost Curry, didn't even really put up a fight.
My Wolves, baby. This is their year. Dude, the sea is parting like Moses back in the day. All right? The sea is parting, Doc. Think about this. OKC looks kind of vulnerable. Like they've come up really clutch in these 2 wins against Denver, right? And I still think they're going to win it all. But they don't look quite as automatically dominant as I thought they would. Minnesota's going to have a lot to say to OKC. Denver still could win this series, all right? So you got that going on over there. And then out east, okay, the number one, Cleveland, is dead. They're at home. They're going fishing. Boston's about to die. So now on the east side, you're looking at like New York and Indiana. All right, so if you're Minnesota, like no Boston, no Cleveland, like this thing is opening up very, very, very nicely for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But they don't have a ton of work to do here. They are going to annihilate the Golden State Warriors tonight in Game 5. All right, and then they have a ton of work to do, obviously, in the West Finals. And they've never, ever been to the NBA Finals. This will be their third straight trip to the West Finals and the only time they've done it in back-to-back years. So let's slide into some ATS, Doc, and let's stay on this game. Wolves minus 11.5 tonight. This is more of a live betting thing for me because I don't like the number, but I may set up a little $50 anchor at Minnesota minus 11, and then I'll make some other, live betting adjustments and bets as the game goes along. Dude, live betting has completely transformed how I watch NBA games. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm watching the stock market and the line is moving, and I set a number, right? And then I want the team that I'm betting against to make a run to artificially change the line. Bam! And then I pounce, and I'm just loving live betting, dude. Bet online. We love y'all. So I'll probably set up an anchor with the Wolves minus 11.5 because I think this is going to be a 20-point beatdown, Doc. I really, really do. And then maybe the route is on and they're minus 13.5. Throw another stack on that, right? And then okay, I didn't get it at the same number, but yeah, the Wolves party that I thought is officially on and popping. Let's put some more money on it. I think it's going to be a Wolves party tonight. Wardell ain't coming back. Minnesota won game 2 by 24 points. Okay. Remember, they lost game 1. They played like garbage. They had deer in headlights and all that, but they've won 3 games in a row since. Okay. Because they are a better team. They're a better team than Golden State with Steph Curry, but not like this, obviously. Without Curry, it's not even close. You've got a tier 1 or tier 2 team against a middling team, a play-in tournament team. That's who Golden State is right now. And also, Doc, Ant-Man gets the assignment. He's in Kobe mode. He's in Jordan mode, at least for the last 2 games. 66 points on 49 shots. If he does that again tonight, that Wolves party that I'm talking about will be on and popping. How are you treating 11.5 in this game?
Well, my line that I see at Bet ESPN is 10.5, but it doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's an 11-point blowout. I'm probably not going to mess with that game just because it's a lot of points, but I'm with you. I feel like Minnesota is going to put Golden State out of their misery. And now Steve Kerr won't have to be forced to play Jonathan Kuminga anymore. What is happening? He didn't even play him in game 1, and now he's the best player on his team. It's so frustrating, man. And also, I play Golden Tee with a buddy of mine, and every single time we play a course, he says, "Oh, I haven't played this course before." And I feel like every time we talk about an NBA game now, you say, "Oh, this is a live betting thing for me." It's all, every game is live betting for you. It's not just one or two. It's all of them. But you keep saying, "Well, this one is live bet for me," which is just funny because that's where it's gotten to. But
it's your fault. It's your fault. You dragged me back into the betting ring. You did. It's your fault.
I love the fact that Boston is favored by 4.5, and I feel like the Knicks are we're ending this thing tonight.
I know.
We don't care. Jalen Brunson does not care. Is Jalen Brunson the greatest? Is he going to go down as the greatest Knick of all time?
You got to win a chip. We can't even have that conversation unless he wins a chip. Because right now he's not better than Patrick Ewing, and clearly he's not better than Walt Clyde Frazier or the Pearl. I think the Pearl was there for only one. So Willis Reed. Willis Reed was there for both of them. And Frazier was there for both of them. That's where you start in greatest Knicks of all time is Willis Reed and Walt Clyde.
All right,
dude,
well,
they have not won a chip since Frazier and Reed. They have not won a chip since those guys. So I love Brunson. But this best Nick conversation is so ESPN clickbait talking head bullshit. Like, it's just, let's capture the moment, right? No, give me a break, dude. Like, the conversation should be like, where does Brunson stack with the other guards in the NBA right now? Like let's have a good debate. Is he the best Nick of all time? It's clickbait bullcrap.
He's a stud. I love.
I love, dude. He's literally my favorite player in the entire league. I love Brunson, but we gotta, dude, Doc. So many people just flush history, or they don't want to pay attention to it, or they don't want to acknowledge it. Like, you are completely flushing history if you say something dumb like Jalen Brunson's the best Knick of all time. Okay, here's another debate for you. It's dumb. Here's another debate for you. Is Jalen Brunson the best closer in the game today? Is there anybody that you would rather have with the Rock down 1, 3-2-1? Is there anybody you'd rather have than Jalen Brunson?
No, Jokic Jokic or Shea. But I don't know that I'd rather have them. They're in the conversation. Brunson's a dog, man. Brunson is just dog.
What I would say about Brunson, he finds a way. He finds a way. Dude, Osar put a blanket on him. He hit him with the crossover of death. 2 right-handed dribbles into a pull-up from 3. Osar's hand is right here coming across. The crossover created literally the nanosecond opening to get that shot off, and he buries Detroit on that shot.
Halliburton,
on Osar Thompson, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't on, my guy Neesmith or whatever. Like that was on a Thompson twin. These guys are robots sent from another planet to defend in the NBA, okay? And Brunson hit him with, dude, to me, there's never been a better crossover in NBA history than that one right there, okay? You want a hot take? There's your fucking hot take. There's never been a better crossover than his cross on Osar. You go, what about when AI dropped Jordan? Okay, it's a regular season game, bro. It was famous. It was iconic. It did not win a playoff series. Okay, by the way, a game on playoff series. Like, Boston and New York is no longer game on. Tatum died, and now Boston's about to die. So even if Boston wins tonight, this series is over, all right? That was a game on series when Brunson hit that shot. Doc, correct me if I'm wrong. If he misses that shot, that game goes to overtime. I believe that's how that went. He misses that shot, that game probably goes to OT. What if Detroit wins? Boom. Now we're going game 7 back at New York. Who knows, right? Detroit had won 2 of the 3 games in New York, all right? That was, to me, it's the best crossover in NBA history. All right, let's reel it in here, Doc. I am also on the Knicks plus 4.5 tonight. Are the Celtics feeling sorry for themselves? Their guy just blew a tire. He's out all next year. Like, you are in effed mode. You're effed. Your team is effed, okay? Like, you just like, oh, we're fine. Fully mentally recovered. We're ready to go out there and kick ass. I don't know. Huge question for me. Go ahead. What's up?
No, I just said next man up.
Next man up. Doc, the stat of the playoffs right now. The Knicks are 5-0 on the road. 5-0 on the road in the playoffs, all right? The road team is 3-1 in this series. Boston sucks at home. New York is awesome on the road. And like you said, Brunson doesn't care. He gave a shout out to Tatum at the post-game podium the other night that I thought was really cool and really classy. But going into this one, Jalen Brunson has a mindset of destruction. Okay, like Hatfield and Hammett on stage for Metallica.
He like just blood in the water. Like
yes,
yeah, he does. And he like the other guys. I don't know if it's like Karl Anthony Towns. You think he smells blood in the water? No, but he's gonna go out there and play. But Brunson is like, bro, we got to finish this now. I don't want to go back home.
Well, think about it for New York. Indiana's chilling now. Indiana's cold chilling, bro. They knocked out Cleveland in 5 games. So Indiana's like, yeah, we're good. This is fun. You're chilling. Yeah. It's like Indiana is rooting hard for Boston tonight. Yeah. Take New York to another game, sap some more of their energy. So New York knows that. New York now is going against Indiana. All right. Like that. Let's call it what it is. Like that's now the game that's being played here. So if you're New York, all right, you win tonight, they've got an advantage of 1 day of rest on you. And while is that really that big of a deal, Troy? I don't think it's that big of a deal. But Doc, in the load management era, with all of this kid gloving and these guys, it's a big deal among coaches, medical teams, GMs, and stuff like that to get that extra day off. I think it's overrated, but I'm also not in the fight and I'm not on the wood pouring my blood, sweat, and tears out there. All right, I am going to rapid fire you some Ricky props, Doc, and then you hit me with your props. Brunson, over 27.5 points. Everything that we've just talked about, he's been over this number in 7 of 10 playoff games. That's a 70% bet for you right there. Okay, 70%. You have Jaylen Brown over 25.5. Jaylen Brown is going to take this game personally. He's going to put a team on his shoulder. He's going to take 30 shots. All right, he's not going to be efficient, but I think he's going to get over 25.5. I see a 30-pluser tonight from JB. Derrick White over 18.5. They're going to have to pick up Tatum's 27 points per game. I think White's going to do a lot of that. Josh Hart, over 11.5 points. He's been over this number in 6 of 10 playoff games, so that's a 60% bet for you right there. And Anthony Edwards, I'm going here somewhat sheepishly. Do we get the Kobe mode, Jordan mode like we have the last 2 games? I hope so. I kind of sort of think so. And so I'll go over Edwards at 27.5. It's been 30-plus the last 2 games. And the Wolves, for the last 2 games, have completely shifted their shot distribution, Doc. It is all Ant-Man, then a lot of Randall, and then really nobody else is eating on the entire team. Nas isn't going off. Jaden isn't doing it. Dante isn't doing it. Gobert isn't doing it. It's kind of been condensed into a duo right now. I don't feel great about Randall at 22.5. I'm going to leave that number alone. But I'll go over on Edwards here at 27.5. Ricky props, baby. Who you got for some props tonight?
I like Al Horford over 9.5. Somebody's got to fill that Tatum hole, and it's not Jalen and Derrick White can't do it all. So I like Horford to have a decent game tonight. My normal Cat's going to get a double-double will be in play as usual, and I think our dog Jalen Brunson is going to score 30 points. So you play that one, and then I'm going to go with my main man, Johnny Kuminga. Johnny Kuminga is going to score more than 17 points. So I like the over on Kuminga because Steve Kerr feels like he has to play him now for some reason.
So that's the FU game from Kuminga to Kerr. That's the last game that Kuminga will ever play for Steve Kerr. And so, dude, I want Kuminga to be a total ball hog out there. And just like your 5-year-old in a church league, right? Like the only kid that can dribble, right? You just dribble, like slalom through all the kids that are flailing, and then you just throw the ball up at the rim, right? Like church league. I want Kuminga to just dominate the ball tonight, and I want him to not play team ball. Like I want him to do all of the stuff that Steve Kerr has been banging on him about, like playing shitty defense, not rotating, not rebounding, not sharing the ball, not making good decisions with the ball. All of the stuff that has kept Steve Kerr from playing Jonathan Kuminga. I want Kuminga to just lean into all of that tonight, Doc. and then go, yo, I'm out, bro. Peace out from the playground.
See ya.
See ya. Right. I'm going to Brooklyn, biatch. I'm going to go score 20 a game. It's going to be me, Cam Johnson, and Cam Thomas against the world. Biatch. I'm out of here.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, so you're over on Kuminga. Hey, quickly before we get out of here, man, we have a couple of spots left in our last WNBA league. Join us. DM Andre, okay? Andre's the man. At ANDMLEMOS. ANDMLEMOS. DM him there or email support@sportsethos.com. So, Doc, amazingly, we had a 10-team draft yesterday, and it was what we've been talking about. Experts, me, Doc, and Brew were in there. I saw Keston Paul in there. I saw, what is it, Eric Ange? Is that how you say his name? I see him in a lot of these fantasy drafts that I'm in. But then there were a lot of names I didn't know, and those are you beautiful people, our great audience. Dude, this was an incredibly challenging draft. ESPN drafts usually are 6-team drafts. So it's very easy to accumulate an all-star team and a rock star team. We went to 10. All right. It completely changed the draft. Like all of my favorite sleepers, right? Gabby Williams and Chelsea Gray and I'm getting them in every single league that I want except this one, because these sleepers were being drafted as like main cogs on teams because we went to 10. So it was very fascinating, very challenging. But Doc pulled the number 1 pick and got Caitlin Clark.
That's controversial though, right? Because it was her or the other
Asia Wilson.
Yeah. And I went with Caitlin Clark just because she plays for Indiana, and that's all I hear about is Caitlin Clark, this and that. So I went with her. I had no idea what I was doing in this draft. I was totally relying on ESPN's ranking system. I honestly didn't do any research whatsoever. I was just drafting positions.
Did I not partially create my rankings to help you?
You did.
Well, did we not talk about this? Yeah, I mean, I did it. I got an article at sportsethos.com. You can go read it right now. Okay. I put it out on my Twitter at Rick Kamla Sports. And so I did it for us, Sports Ethos, but I also did it for you.
I know,
you said I need rankings.
Had you done it for me, and if it hadn't gone on the website or been published for the world to see, you would have just done that for me. I would have brought it to the draft and used it, and I would have studied it. But because it was out there for the world to see, I decided I was
that is the biggest stupid cop-out. Are you serious right now?
It's not a cop-out,
bro.
No,
if I just made the rankings for you, then you would have.
Yeah, and if you would have said, "Dude,
I'm sorry, I should have made them more special. I should have gift wrapped them, put a little bow on top of the rankings."
That's not what I'm saying, dude. I'm saying that if you would have handed them to me and been like, "Here, I did these for you," yeah, of course I would have used them. Because if I didn't, it was a waste of your time. This was not a waste of your time because you're helping the world. I didn't want help.
Boy, that was quite the spin right there. That was quite the spin. That was like the Lakers after the series saying Austin Reaves is hurt. After he sucked for 2 weeks. Oh, well, he was hurt the whole time. Anyway, Doc, I'm just busting your stones, dude. But Doc, Doc stacked the fever. I said you got Bonner, you got Kelsey Mitchell. Didn't you take another fever player too?
Holy crap, dude. I didn't realize how many fever I had. I have Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, DeWanna Bonner, Breonna Turner, and Sophie Cunningham.
Well, that's your team. But the stack. So, dude, all right, I've done a bunch of WNBA drafts. I'm no rookie here. You are. Just give me your overall impressions of your first WNBA draft.
As I said, I told my wife I was doing the WNBA draft last night, and she asked me what the F was wrong with me. Literally. She's like, "What? You don't play WNBA fantasy?" And I'm like, "I do now." I was like, "Jonathan Kuminga, I do now." So anyhow, I have no idea what I have. I thought I took an Atlanta player, but I guess I took all Indiana players. What this means is I'm going to be watching the fever, and I'm going to be paying attention to box scores, and I'm going to figure out what's going on and figure out if I did a good job of drafting this team or not, because right now I really have no idea.
I can tell you right now what the key to this league is. Your main ladies have to stay healthy. Because I was looking around the league, there's one team, and it is Andrew Ange's team. He's got 6 studs, and most teams have 5. All right, and I perceive Doc has 4. I'm not trying to bang on his team. I have 4.5. I had to take Natasha Mack in the 5th round. I love Natasha Mack, but I'm like, I'm taking Mack in the 5th round. God bless America, this is a hard draft. So if she's the player I think she's going to be, she'll be a stud for me, and I'll have 5. but that it remains to be seen. So I don't love my team. I'm not going to break this league. I'm going to break the other ESPN leagues that I'm in, Doc. I'm going to house these mofos. But against you guys, it's a fair fight. And so what's going to be the key here? We have to ascertain the benches. And it's because all of the starters are already on teams. The waiver wire is going to be bench players, sixth ladies. A starter gets hurt. Somebody goes from the bench to the starting lineup. That's how you're going to win this league. That's how you're going to generate a difference with goodies on your team. So it was very, very difficult. We have another one tonight, 5 p.m. And again, if you want to get in with us, we are still formulating leagues. I will say yes to all of these, Andre. So again, just email support@sportsethos.com, support@sportsethos.com, and Andre will hook you up with a league. We have another one tonight, like I said, at 5. But we are out, guys. Download the app. Go to your favorite app store and, get the app. We have blurbs out there for NBA, MLB, NFL, and they're comprehensive. They're the best in the biz. Subscribe to our work at sportsethos.com. And we will see you all very, very soon. Thursday, as a matter of fact, as we do our top 48. And we'll talk playoff ball. We'll give you some picks on Denver and OKC as well. And we will see you then. This episode right here has been brought to you by Bet Online.
I'm going to Brooklyn.